Hello and welcome to GameCast.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of GameCast today. I got that right, didn't I?
Yes.
We're doing a Halloween special today, just given the month that's in it. So joining me today is Jamie over here and James.
Hello.
And next week we'll probably have someone else whose name begins with J.
John.
Come week 3, they'll be multiplying and the room will be
Think
filled
about
with-
that. You're the odd one out. Just saying, like, I'll leave that there.
Just change my name to Dane.
Next week we're going to have Jaren on the show.
My God, people watch this for our comedic value.
I'll hold up the bird cert and it'll be scribbled out in permanent marker with just a J
Jaren.
put beside it.
Like in Benchwarmers,
Jaren.
I am 12 with the crayon, a tenor inside of it.
So seeing as Halloween is coming up, we have a few Halloween related questions today. I'll start off with the first one. So, in your opinion, what is the best horror video game franchise?
Go first.
The only one that I've played the most of would be Dead Space. So
Dead Space, but was the third one not shite?
Yeah,
third one was, don't talk about
we
it.
don't talk about the third.
Was that not more focused on the co-op?
Don't talk about the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's Dead Space 1, 2, maybe the Wii 1, maybe the mobile. No third one.
Yeah. What? Dead Space 3?
You?
Never heard of it.
Damn, I'd be inclined to say Dead Space as well. In my opinion now, I love Dead Space 1 and 2. And yeah, I had fun with the other ones as well, but 3 is pretty abysmal. Like, it fleshed the story out a bit more,
Yeah.
the story and the setting, but thanks to EA, I'm assuming
They just tried to make it a multiplayer.
they took away
thing.
what made the first 2 special.
Yeah.
But in terms of the visuals, in terms of like the enemy design, in terms of the story, the heavy influences from like Event Horizon, you know, the sci-fi horror movie. Absolutely love that movie. So for me,
The enemies are necromorphs, aren't they?
the enemies are necromorphs.
Yeah,
but
that's
the sort of the gritty, claustrophobic, cold hallways.
And even when you walk past your first one and you're like, yeah, he's dead, and you go down a couple of steps, the next thing is like down on top of you.
I've only played
Scares
through
me
like
now.
the first hour of Dead Space, and yeah, it was terrifying.
highly recommend as you go through with the rest of them.
I have them all on the Xbox
Go
ready
for it.
to install, but I just don't have enough jocks to keep me going.
And the way the HUD is designed, I think it makes it feel a bit more like you're not in a game, because you know the way like the health bars on you, it's like you're back.
Everything you need to see about the game is on Isaac.
Yeah, so you're focused on him the whole time. You can't see what's going on around on your peripherals if you're too focused on your health, and then stuff just starts coming at you.
And it's one of the few games for me that entering the HUD actually improves the immersion, because like other games you go into the HUD and there's a cut in the action, there's a pause, there's a distinct sense of being outside of the game. Dead Space, you go right into the HUD and it's floating in front of Isaac, and like when you scroll through the options, his head actually like looks through them, and it doesn't pause the game either.
So it's
like Iron Man's
kind of
helmet.
what he sees.
Something like that, yeah.
Kind of what he sees in his helmet, basically.
Yeah. Is it hologram projector or is it like something inside?
I imagine it's probably on his visor.
I just saw it as something. His head is the mouse, and he's just like this, and just goes clicking on.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite HUDs in the game. Yeah.
For me, it's down to 2 franchises: Silent Hill or Resident Evil. What the hell was that noise?
Nothing actually fell.
I don't know. Anyway, the reason I'm stuck between the 2 is because Silent Hill 2 it's just the ultimate game for fucking with your head, and Resident Evil because it gives you so many moments of sheer panic, particularly in the first few. But I'm leaning more towards Resident Evil because both of them have produced pretty bad games. But Resident Evil doesn't pretend that it doesn't. It knows it's bollocks. Whereas Silent Hill Homecoming was just brushed underneath the mat. Silent Hill The Room was just brushed underneath the mat. Resident Evil just kind of go, yeah, fuck it. Let's give you Operation Raccoon City that is pure shit. But like the remake, Resident Evil 5, it wasn't a horror game. It was more kind of like action.
Yeah, it had horror elements. Like like you don't. The thing about horror is you don't have to be scared by it to acknowledge it as scary. Like if we were in the Resident Evil 5 situation in real life, we'd be shitting ourselves. Like
the sequence, you know, at the like your very first kind of boss encounter with the Executioner in Resident Evil 5, where when you're in the little hut and they're all coming through I genuinely panicked. I was like, what do you do? And I didn't know that you can run out. Like I stayed in the hut and I was just like being swarmed. I was like, this is genuine fear. I don't know what to do. Like it was like a real life scenario. I just sit there in the corner crying. I think that's why Resident Evil tips it for me, because Silent Hill, again, has kind of the same kind of qualities where they bollocks, but Silent Hill is portrayed as the fans as being like, oh, it's so pure, so good, whereas you're like, it's not. If you step back a bit, it's pure bollocks. Like, the voice acting is some of the worst things I've ever heard.
There's one bit in one of the Silent Hill games, you know, in most horror games there comes to a point where you lose all your equipment and you're left to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
They usually do it in some kind of funny cinematic way, but the best one I think is in, I can't remember which Silent Hill one it is, but you have to go into the lift to go up to get to the next level. Yeah, and you when you go into the lift, it's like, oh, you're over the weight limit, so you have to get rid of all of your equipment. So you have to get out of the lift, throw away all your equipment, get back in the lift, and then it'll go up.
It happens later on in the game. Wow. It happens, like, let's say if PT, God rest its soul, actually went ahead, I imagine Silent Hill would be the dominant franchise in the horror franchise.
I would say so, yeah.
Because PT just revolutionised horror for this generation.
Absolutely, yeah. There was nothing quite as immersive as PT when it came out.
They really fucked that up.
And there was a few fan-made projects that attempted to emulate
They all
on
got
PC.
they all got taken down though by Konami.
Yeah, like I haven't heard anything about Allison Road in years. Allison Road was a promising.
I feel like Konami stole their buzz with that in later years with rehashing Resident Evil. Like with 7, they kind of went back to old school way nearly.
Konami?
No, sorry.
Capcom.
Capcom,
man. Fucking hell, different company altogether. Yeah. They're not firing Hideo.
Yeah. I feel Capcom kind of just stole some of the buzz.
Yeah.
Anyway. They couldn't make.
Konami cancels PT to make more Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Like Silent Hill 2 is one of the best stories of a horror game. But until they release something, maybe next gen, if they decide to get off their arses and make games again, Silent Hill will take the throne for me. But at the moment, Albert Wesker is sitting on it for me. If you don't know who that is, it's the main boss from Resident Evil 5. Alright.
Question 2 then. Name a video game character from your childhood that terrified you. I can think of one straight away.
Go on, tell us.
Resident Evil 1, one of the first zombies you encounter. I think a lot of people can relate with this. There's a part
is
where
it
yeah, you know the ball guy, the ball guy. Yeah, you go through this door. Have you ever played Resident Evil 1, James?
I think I played it on the PS1.
Yeah, you go through this door and then you walk down the hallway to the left, and this cinematic comes on of like a zombie just talking into some guy.
It's so bad.
He hears you coming, and he just kind of slowly like turns around like that, and like. He kind of looks derpy, to be honest. His eyes are really like wide and like googly. But at the time, like the cinematics were pretty on point for a PS1 game. I was absolutely terrified of that. I was getting nightmares the rest of the night. So I think I saw it when I was like, must have been about 8 or 9, I'd say, when I first saw that cutscene. But yeah, it messed me up big time.
Ghouls from Fallout 3.
Again?
Yeah.
What age were you when you played that?
What?
What age were you when you played that?
I was old enough.
And you that was the scariest
thing.
Like
15. They were pretty fucking spooky. Like, that was the first, probably one of the first. When you first play it, like, and I've never really played a game like that. You know, when you go down to, you know, you go from brain fart. You know,
very swarmy, aren't they?
When you're first going to see Tree Dog and you have to go through like the underground train station, the underground metro, and you see all the super mutants and the ghouls, and it's just that kind of.
Yeah, it's the sound. It's the sound down the tunnel, and then the sound of like the breathing getting towards you with their little like footsteps on the ground. And like because the Pip-Boy doesn't have a flashlight, it just has like a lantern type thing. So suddenly, like it extends for like 3 meters. Suddenly they're within the field of view and they're up in your face. Like
sometimes I don't know if it's just a thing with the game, but there's no sound cue and you don't hear anything.
That's
and then you just turn around and the next thing is just they're on you.
That's not a bug, that's a feature. It's a feature to scare you. It just works, said Todd Howard.
I actually looked into Todd Howard more since you said it. He just wears a leather jacket every occasion. In every picture I was looking up. Because we're doing a video on Skyrim soon, so check that one out. For me, who is... I have one character in my head, but it didn't scare the shit out of me. It just frightened me anytime I seen him on the screen because it was so intense. Was Prince of Persia 2, Warrior Within, in the Sands of Time trilogy. Whenever you traverse back to the present, an ancient demon called the Dahaka used to chase you. And it used to be like, you know in Crash when he's running away from the fucking polar bear, and the camera is looking at him. It was
Those
like
kind of
that.
chase sequences,
It was like that in some areas, and like you'd have to jump over boxes and all, and this thing just like teleported towards you, and it used to be like screaming shit at you, and later on I realized someone on YouTube played it back, and if you play it in reverse, he's speaking English and he's saying like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you basically, and he just like, if you made like a single error, you like, let's say if you ran diagonally instead of straight, his like, I don't know what they were, like tentacles used to grab you and just like devour you. He was like this black cloudy fucking sheep thing, and he just tormented you for the entire game. And like anytime I seen him on the screen, I genuinely would just pause it and just go, can't lads. And like it'd take me a couple of days to build up the strength to go, I'm gonna do it again, I'm gonna try, and then like die straight away because I had no practice.
So like if you die while he's chasing you and you rewind time, do you hear him making those threats to you in the game, or is it something? Oh, it's something.
Someone actually went back.
Oh, it's something you have to do through editing and stuff, like, is it?
Yeah, it's just someone literally just play the video backwards.
That's actually
it's really, really cool because like
it's very clever, yeah.
10 years later, I finally discovered that he was actually just mugging me off.
You know what else is pretty creepy actually in a video game is do you remember the have you played Resident Evil 4?
Yes.
I can't remember the name of them, but you know the grey things that regenerate.
And regenerators.
Big brain moment for
You have to use infrared to see them.
God, the regrowers or something.
I wouldn't even remember the name when you said they regenerate.
That would be the regenerators, gobshite.
First time you see them, they're like really close to you as well. Like, so you have like a really, really quick time to actually learn how to kill these fuckers.
Yeah, to deal with them real fast. Yeah. And the weird like clicking, breathing sound they make when they come at you.
That's another one. Clickers from The Last of Us.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I beat that recently. Clickers are scary.
There is a sequence in a game. Do you remember Resistance, Swallow Man?
Yeah.
You go into the subway, right, and you're running down, and it's really dim, and you're just using the beam of your flashlight to run. And this was like Resistance was really good looking when it first came out.
It's terrible.
Yeah, don't go back.
It's
like
a PS2 game in 720p. Like
yeah. So you're running with your gun anyway, right? And if you manage to catch it, and you look up, down the tunnel, really far away, one of the like alien creatures sprints across like from one side of the tunnel to the other.
Jesus.
And the music just goes like fucking hell, what's down here? And then like you can run forward a bit, and then all you can hear is like, and you're like, what the fuck? And you turn around, and the things have been following you on the roof, and they're designed that when you turn, that's triggering them.
You can see them. Yeah.
Oh. Eventually they do drop, but most people turn.
That's good. It's like that part in Cloverfield where we're going through the subway tunnel and all the spider things like crawling over the ceiling. The guy turns on the night vision and they're all just there.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, move! And they're like, what? Imagine that, in an alien fucking invasion, a guy goes, move, and you don't take his word and do it. You have to question, why would we run?
Why do it? The Grey Jacks were pretty creepy as well in that game actually. The Grey Jacks, remember the big lanky guys?
Yes, they're the like abnormally formed versions of the Chimera.
Like they're starting to decay, so their claws can like infect you with all like the disease and stuff they have on them. It's really
And like when they run as well, they look like Usain Bolt.
Big lanky guys. Moving on to question 3 anyway. What do you regard as the best horror game of all time?
Anyone have an answer? It's very hard, isn't it?
Probably Shadow the Hedgehog. No.
It's tough, alright. I watched that recently.
Spiral.
Fucking
terrifying.
The best horror game of all time. That's a spicy.
To you, though. Like everyone's gonna have different.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of games that like affected me the most. Stuff that really sticks in my memory. It's probably between Fear or Outlast for me. So for Fear, it's like there's really nothing else like it. In terms of the atmosphere, like just how creepy it is, and like I'd say, like I've seen plenty of like creepy ghost girls with long black hair before, watching like The Grudge or pretty much any Asian horror, to be honest. But this was like the first kind of Western take on it that mixed like Hollywood tactical action and insane special effects with that kind of creepiness and atmosphere. So the enemy in that game, Alma, she was so creepy, and all the demons and stuff she summoned, like it was just.
Do you know what really like interests me with Fear, like years on, was the fact that it's like an immersive experience like Call of Duty or something like that, where you're focused on killing all these guys, then all of a sudden something in the corner could move, or like that kind of thing, like where you're focused on these insanely smart AI coming at you, that something could be happening behind you don't even know. And like that's really interesting for me.
Yeah.
Because like usually in games you can kind of tell like, right, nothing's happened for 5 minutes, what's going on. Whereas by introducing an element where they're making you focus on something else, where they can fuck you up behind your back, or to the side, whatever. Really, really good tactic from them.
So it's either that or Outlast. Outlast, in terms of the visuals, was fantastic. Like, I've never seen anything nail the night vision effect so well. There's this part where none of you played it, Outlast?
Well, no, I've watched it. Like,
there's this part where you're in, like, I don't know if it's like a flooded basement or a boiler room or something. You're in this big wide open area, and the big evil guy from the game is in the sewers with you. The only indicator that he's near you is the sound he makes, his heavy breathing, and the chain clinking around his arm. So you have to like slowly like move through the water and find the way out, and the only way out is like a ladder in the middle that's in a brightly lit area. So if you get there, like, he's going to see you. But I have never felt so tense as when I was just like creeping around the side. Like, you can't actually see the area in the middle at the start. You have to kind of feel your way along the walls. So I've never been so tense as when I was just feeling my way along the wall in night vision mode, listening for this big creepy guy trying to stalk me and kill me.
What's his name? John or something? John Walker or something like that.
Chris Walker.
Chris Walker, yeah. Was close. The thing with Outlast as well is most times a game strips you of all your weapons and makes you do stealth. Every gamer usually just goes, oh god. Outlast went the complete other way. Everyone just was like, I'm going to find more batteries. It was the bottle that made that noise earlier in the video.
We need a few jump scares coming up to Halloween anyway. Outlast, like, I think it came out around the time when hide and seek horrors were starting to get really tired. Like, people had their fill of like watching
Slender Man.
Yeah, like Slender Man and watching
Slender Man: The Arrival isn't bad.
Yeah, it seems pretty good actually. I never got the chance to play it.
Oh, I played through it all. Nice that you watched that video.
I did watch it. I didn't say it. I said I didn't play
it.
But I played the original one. You know, the original,
I played that on the phone.
The better one. You know, probably haven't heard of it. On the phone.
Yeah.
Didn't know
Slenderman. Well, it was some bootleg version. The Eight Pooges Slenderman.
Slendo. The Eight Pooges.
He used to just appear, like, there wouldn't even be like a creepy, like, coming out of the fog, just bang in the middle of the screen, and it wasn't like a game mode where he just spontaneously appears. It was just the game was made that way. Yeah. So you could just lose just because he automatically teleports in front of you.
Just thought of a knockoff Slenderman. Oh no, it's Mr. Lanky.
Imagine just like a smiley face.
Yeah, but,
Mr. Lanky.
Yeah, Outlast came out at a time when those kind of horrors were tired. Like, people are kind of sick of watching PewDiePie play Amnesia for the millionth time in a row as well. But the fact that it did so well and people remember it so fondly is a testament to just how good it actually is. So Outlast is up there with me. I can't decide though. Can't decide if it's the best ever.
You?
I can't really point out what's the best horror game because it's not really my genre.
Well, what's the best game that scared you?
The best one that scared me was probably Resident Evil 7 because there's quite a few jump scares in that.
I cannot wait to play that because I got a PlayStation VR headset the other day.
You're fucking screwed.
Yeah.
There's one
scene. Got good moments in it. Like.
There's one scene in it that I ultimately would not like to go near with VR. Just no.
Which one? The whole in the hall, or you open the door and then
open the door, go down.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that. No way. That right there. No. Call it off.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Need new jocks. For me, I think it's a bit of a cop out because it's not really a horror game. The Last of Us.
It has horror.
It has elements of horror and intensity, but I don't know if it's a horror game. But it is the best game involving elements of horror that I've played. It's a bit of a cop out, but story, the gameplay, and the creature design in itself is just amazing. I actually love the way as well that they really make you use your resources wisely.
Yeah, I've played games
even
that
shooting
promise,
like it's
definitely. I've played games that promised scarce resources, but they're never really scarce. You can be pretty liberal with ammunition usage. Last of Us has you counting every single bullet, and I really, really appreciate that. You know. So then when you found like a whole pack of like 5 bullets, you're like, oh, Christmas came early.
It was a really good game for like, okay, there's like 7 clickers in there, but I know there's goodies in there. Is it worth it? And like you go in and you're like, right, I have a bat, I have 2 shanks. Is this worth it? Like it's the first game where you can actually just go, right, I need to sneak through here. I can't take these guys on.
Give me a brick and a Molotov. I'll clear that out. clear that room out in 2 seconds flat.
No, because whenever I tried it, the Molotov just fucking out in front of me. Like, do you know in the school when you're taking on the bloated?
Oh yeah, I hate that guy. Yeah.
The first time I played the game, I couldn't even remember taking him on because I just blew his head off straight away with the shotgun. The second time I played it, I had no bullets left, so I was literally just scavenging around whatever I could find. But when he gets close to you, it's almost an instant kill.
Yeah, you can't run away from him. He has like a burst of speed.
Yeah, it was like one of those kind of like rhino enemies where he just sprint at you. But the bastard was so agile as well. Like he was definitely a sprinter in his past life. So yeah, we've Last of Us, we have Resident Evil 7, and we have an undecisive prick. Go on. There's a gun to your head, Outlast or what was it on? Fear. Outlast or Fear. There's a gun to your head right now.
I'll go with the first Fear.
First Fear.
Because I just have such fond memories of it. It was my first introduction to a game that truly terrified me.
We should try to play Fear on the channel.
I have it actually, yeah.
You do?
Like on disc, so you can lend it to you if you want. Like.
Oh, I'm not playing. I'm done with horror games. Like that. So yeah. Happy Halloween. Anything more to say? Any kind of shout outs to horror in gaming?
In gaming? Oh, just trying to think off the top of my head now.
Like, the PlayStation 1, I think, the horror games on the PlayStation 1 were actually so scary because of the limitations.
What about mini games?
Mini games?
Yeah.
Are you just going to mention zombies again?
No, I'm not going to mention zombies. I was going to mention Don't Starve. Because that's it.
I suppose, yeah.
The first time I played it, I was like, I didn't know what was going on. It doesn't tell you what to do. And I played it for 5 minutes and I died straight away.
I suppose it is kind of like
turned into night and then I was dead.
I suppose it kind of is like Outlast in that regard, that you're so vulnerable as the player. Like I think that's what Outlast did so well, is that you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable for the entire experience. There is no moment where you can go, oh fuck yeah, and take these guys on. So, like, what is the main antagonist of Outlast again? It's not Chris Walker.
It's a malevolent entity called the Wall Rider.
The Wall Rider, yeah. And that assumes the main character's body at the end of it.
Yeah, spoilers, it possesses...
If they haven't played it by now, fucking hell. Like, Resident Evil is kind of still fresh enough, so we're not going to ruin that on you.
Yeah, it possesses the guy who played... What's the journalist's name?
God, I don't know. I just know the second one. Yeah. The guy's name is Ethan. Did you play Outlast 2?
No, I actually didn't go near it. I saw a really good video basically ripping strips out of it.
It just tries...
It's terrible, so...
It tries really hard. Like... There's a really, really important document that you have to find that explains everything. It literally sews all the storylines together. You have to actually, like, literally jump out of the map to get it. Like, there's this lake, and obviously you have to go right. That's where all the light sources are and everything. You have to go extreme left around like a cave system thing, and right on the edge of the beach to get it. And I was just like, why? And it basically explains like the reason why everyone's losing their fucking minds is because there's a chemical plant nearby, the same crowd from Outlast 1. And I was just like, why would you hide that? And it explains why everyone's hallucinating, why everyone thinks the fucking Messiah is coming.
No, that's less magical than I thought.
Like when I played Outlast 2 first, well, it wasn't me, it was one of the guys I was playing it with him. And at the start you're just like, whoa, what's going on? This is like really cool. But like it never develops further. They literally like feed you a tiny bit of the plot at the start, and then that's it. Like that's everything. You're just kind of like, fuck off. We're back. As I was saying, there's no gratifying moment in Outlast 2 where you kind of go, yeah, that character got what they deserve, because they haven't developed them enough. You have to read all the notes and all. But games that do that don't ever work because we're so lazy as gamers now. Unless you really like that game, I'm not going to read every note.
I don't read anything in any games. Like, no.
What was it that fed me a load of notes recently? Fuck off. Wasn't Days Gone? They had a load of like collectibles and all, but I didn't read them. I don't know what it was, but I just kept pressing it. I was like, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. The last game I'd done that for was probably The Last of Us. When I replayed it last year, I went back and read every note and all.
Yeah. The Last of Us doesn't like bombard you with endless journal entries and audio diaries and stuff. It keeps it to a manageable amount. Like
it has that nice note where you find out like Bill lost his partner basically, his sexual partner for anyone that's wondering, and like that was a nice like Easter egg. We developed Bill's character, but it wasn't vital to the story.
Yeah,
with like those kind of things, like those are nice notes, not notes that dominate the fucking entire game. So I think we're done.
Certainly are.
That's the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Do you want to sign off or do you want me to do it?
You sign off.
Thank you everyone for watching the GameCast Halloween special. This isn't a full version of the podcast, as you can tell by the length of this video. We will have another podcast coming soon with lots more content on the channel and more updates coming soon when we work more on them. Thanks very much for watching. Say goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching our video. Please like our page and subscribe to see more content from GameCast.